This is Danguole from Coaching You, and today I'd like to talk about the ways how to address procrastination. So what is procrastination? Do you ever find yourself perhaps where you know you must do something right now or in a very short period of time, and yet you choose to do everything else except that one thing that really matters right now? This is procrastination. And of course, it has a huge cost to you, either in terms of missed opportunities and also in terms of the experience of your present moment, because at the back of your mind, you know you need to do it, and yet you are not doing it. What fuels procrastination? That's another question. I think it boils down ultimately to fear. To fear of starting doing something that seems very big to handle, and also the fear of maybe if you handle it and maybe it's not perfect, that particular task or assignment, that you might disappoint others and also yourself. So therefore you choose not even starting it, or you choose to postpone it as much as possible. So if this is something that you face and you wonder what could be the ways that I could address that, I have a recipe of 3 steps that work for me. One is to break down the very big task into the smallest steps. I call it a clarity step. It might be that you're not starting of doing something because it's just simply too big and too overwhelming to handle. So then what I do is I break it down into smaller steps. So for example, if I need to write a very big report, I identify what are the steps needed. Opening the laptop, start writing to a particular number of words, then continue writing, and then of course finishing it up. So it's a very simple example, but it illustrates the principle of breaking something very big into much smaller. So effectively divide and conquer. Second step is the time frames. Sometimes when a task is very big and the more we postpone it, we think that we will need a lot of time to complete it. And sometimes even the time frame can be overwhelming. So therefore what I propose is, once you have a clarity about which smaller steps you need to do, is to identify over which time frame you will do it. So perhaps some people might choose that they're gonna work tomorrow on this particular task for 2 hours. But maybe it's too much for you. Maybe it has to be 20 minutes or even 5 minutes. But the most important thing is to identify for how long you're gonna work and make that promise to work for that long. So for example, if you need to start working on that report, maybe you're gonna start with 5 minutes, and this is what you can handle, but those 5 minutes are more important than not doing it, because at least already in those 5 minutes you are moving closer to your bigger goal. And the third thing is action. Of course, it's not just a conversation with yourself, it's actually a promise to yourself. So then, once you identify what is the first step, and you identify that, let's say tomorrow you're gonna work for 5 minutes, the action is to actually show up and do it for those 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, feel free to close your laptop and continue with your day, guilt-free and agony-free from those thoughts that perhaps you should be doing it, but you're procrastinating. In any case, this kind of strategy allows you to already implement little steps towards your goal, thanks to the clarity of steps, time frame over which you're going to execute those steps, and then acting firmly on that promise that you're going to do that particular task over a particular time frame, and then continue in the subsequent days until you finish the tasks. So that's my way of handling procrastination, and I find it very effective for myself. But of course, I would like you to try it for yourself, and please leave in the comments, did it work for you? And perhaps even share the techniques that you use for yourself in order to address procrastination. I'm very curious to hear that, and I'm looking forward to reading them. Thanks!